Hey everyone, I know you don't normally hear my voice at the start of every episode, but I wanted to do this for a while, and I figured now was a good time. This is our 4th episode, and we've really been enjoying playing this game a lot, and we really hope that you're enjoying and connecting with some of the characters. If you are, there's a few things that you can do to help us get this podcast out in front of other people. The first is to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Flying Bison Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitter at Flying Bison Cast. The next thing you can do, if you can take a couple minutes even, and just write us a review and give us a rating wherever you listen to podcasts, that goes a long way to helping us get in front of other people. On that note, I'd love to shout out Little Goo or Little G00. They gave us a 5-star review a couple weeks ago, and I've been meaning to just say thank you, Little Goo. You are awesome. Keep being you. I'm proud of you. The next thing that you can do, the last thing you can do, tell your friends about it. It's a super easy way to do it, but if you've got friends that like D&D or tabletop role-playing games, actual play podcasts, and like Avatar, please tell your friends about it, because we want as many people as possible to find this, because it's how we grow as players. It's how we can learn to entertain you. So please tell your friends about it. So follow us on social media. If you can take a moment, give us a rating or review, and tell your friends about it. That's it. We hope you enjoy this episode. It was a lot of fun. I think you're going to really enjoy it. All right. See you later. Bye.
Air, water, earth, fire. For hundreds of years, the 4 nations have lived in harmony. The Avatar, master of all 4 elements, was always responsible for maintaining the peace. But Avatar Rohu passed away 13 years ago. Now, the 4 nations look to the air nomads to reveal the next Avatar, but the world is met with silence. Rumors from the Earth Kingdom abound that the Fire Nation is planning an aggressive move into the Earth Kingdom. 5 young heroes were too late to save the Southern Air Temple, but they hold vital information that could save the Earth Kingdom and maybe even save the world. Previously on the Flying Bison Podcast.
You see a decent-sized village that is next to a big river that leads further into the foggy swamp. As you begin walking in, the entire town, besides like those couple of fishermen, is completely empty.
This is unsettling.
Hello, we're just travelers. I knock on the door. We're just travelers. We're just looking to buy some supplies. Maybe looking for a place to stay for the night. Hello. Leave us alone.
All right, time to bring the tribute out for Rohu. I want to just kind of following a cue from that girl, kick and make one of the fish just shoot up into the guy's face.
Good old fish slap. And you see now the brooch that he's wearing, now that he's standing next to you, and he is wearing a brooch, and it's got a lotus flower on it.
We're coming back in 2 days' time. You better have our fish ready by then.
He goes, I knew your parents.
So Ligo takes a moment to process that. She nods and then says, why don't we talk off to the side?
They came here to rescue an egg, something that the foggy swamp was keeping from the world.
If we go into the foggy swamp, can you take me where they used to live?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Flying Bison Podcast. I am always your GM and storyteller, Justin, and I have got my good friends and family with me here today. I have them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Monroe, and I play Ligo.
I'm Johnny, and I play Osa.
I'm Steve, and I play Ren.
I'm Danny, and I play Rozak Launcher.
And I'm Nick, and I play Chainow Launcher.
We did it, guys. No one talked.
We did a roll call.
Got it.
Episode over.
My heart's beating like crazy.
That's it. We'll see you guys next week.
Wow, that was perfect. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's all going to go downhill from here, so we probably should just cut it.
Well, I bought a book the other day, so I'm curious. What are you guys reading? Summer is often the time of reading books. Are you too busy to read? Are you illiterate? What are you reading?
Hey, don't laugh at that.
Yeah.
I just read some of the rules to Avatar Legends.
Right.
Great timing.
Sounds about right.
Several sessions in.
Danny has finally read the rules.
I gotta refresh myself.
Since we've been
sometimes,
playing this
you know?
game for like a month, I thought I would read the rules.
Danny hasn't even known what game we've been playing up until
I've just been winging it.
So I can throw fire.
I'm Danny, and
around?
I'm just happy to be here.
Wait, I'm a firebender?
Wait, what's this show?
Oh, Danny.
Oh, good lord.
Danny, how about something that is not a game rule book? Something culturally stimulating.
I'm currently in the process of. I'm currently in the process of reading through the Death Note manga.
Yes.
Nice.
But it's hard because I refuse to buy anything else besides like the premium black book edition, with, like the black pages and everything, and those are hard to find.
So you're a manga elitist? All right.
But I'm slowly trudging my way through.
Interesting. Have you seen Death Note?
Yes, like 6 times.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah. It's his favorite Netflix movie.
It's my favorite Netflix movie.
Same.
It's a really long movie.
Really
I'm
not
reading
worth it.
The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, thanks to Johnny, who gave me his copy. And that is going super well.
Yeah, you got it at the beginning of your 3-month-long vacation.
Yes.
How far are you? Did you get through most of it?
I'm probably
it's a big
about
book.
200 pages in, so not far. I slowed down a bit after I started addictively drawing on Krita, which is a free drawing program. Yeah, so that changed my pace a little bit.
It's a wonderful, wonderful fantasy book if you're looking for. It's one of my favorite. I think it's one of Johnny's favorite.
Steve has it's my lending copy. I own multiple copies of the book just so I can lend it to people.
Designated lending copy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a special edition I don't let other people touch, but
I am not worthy.
Yeah.
You just get his crappy paperback.
yeah. Mass
not
market,
untrue.
baby.
There's a board game I keep wanting to buy that has they did like a promo with Name of the Wind called Call to Adventure. And you're basically the premise is you're creating a hero and walking through their story, but it affords you the opportunity to play within the world of Name of the Wind. It's fun.
That's cool.
How about the rest of you? Are you reading books with lots of pictures like Danny?
Yes.
Yes, Nick. Yes.
I'm reading some comics. The Static Shock just had a new comic, which is very exciting and it's very good. Now, also there's this comic called The Good Asian. It's a crime noir detective comic, and it is very good, pretty historically accurate. That's just awesome. He's an Asian detective who has come to LA, which there are no cops that were Asian at that time. He's from Hawaii, so that's how that happened. Very cool story.
Image Comics, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That sounds fun. That's very interesting. I would if you have you have them in physical copy?
Yeah.
I would borrow those sometime. That sounds fun.
Okay.
Sounds like a fun
For sure.
day. Johnny, what are you
Yeah. So as my fellow players can see behind me, I've got a fair number of books. Hang on a second. Our washing machine decided it was time to start exploding in the back.
It's a good time for it. All right, Monroe, what are you reading?
Actually, right now, I'm not reading anything. I've got surprisingly busy all of a sudden. So whenever I have a chance to just not do anything, I actually like to not do anything at all. So
That is fair.
That's classic.
yeah.
I do feel like we're in that period when people start to Steve and Monroe get busy, and if they were reading a book during the summer and you put it away and then you pick it back up in spring and summer again, you're like, oh shoot, I gotta start over. I don't remember what's happening at all.
Exactly. So it's just as good as not reading anything at all.
It's true, right? Like, why waste the time reading when you could just
You're mentally not there.
not read? Yeah, watch a TV show. People make
Watch
movies.
Avatar.
Yeah, watch
Last
Avatar.
Airbender.
Yeah, just watch it again, like me. For the sick, I don't know.
Or like Danny and Nick, just read a picture book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. They're really cool picture books, all right? You can't...
The art is fantastic.
Exactly.
Frog and Toad go to town.
Don't you dare. Don't you bring F&T into this. I'll come to Virginia. I want to this.
Yeah, I'm reading The Wheel of Time again. The TV show is coming out on Amazon soon, and it's been one of my favorite series for a long time. And my birthday a few weeks ago, my family got me the box set of the whole series, so I decided to read at least the first book before the show comes out.
You can't do stuff like that, Johnny.
Why?
You can't say your birthday was a couple weeks ago when most of us didn't know that. And now we all feel like terrible people because we didn't wish you a happy birthday.
We're just
It's
gonna have to
not
end the
about
podcast
you,
now.
Johnny.
So
Johnny,
I
how
guess
could
we'll
you
wish
ruin
you
this like this?
How could you have a birthday? How could you do that?
How dare you? How dare you,
If
Johnny?
it makes you guys feel better, my birthdays are usually terrible. Last year, I broke both of my arms on my birthday.
In no way does that make me feel better.
Johnny. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
And,
I'm glad you didn't break both of your arms again.
I'm glad you-
It's just
broke
it's
all
just
my
once
fingers.
a decade. It's just once a decade. So last year was my 30th. It was my 31st this year. On my 20th birthday, I also broke my arm. Not both that time, but yeah.
So you're just going to level up limbs
Yeah.
like 40 and then 3.
Every 10 years, just major
Get a leg in
accident.
there.
That is promising.
Watch out for in a year when Johnny, we'll hopefully be doing video recording at that point maybe, and Johnny will just show up in a cast.
Yeah, just be in traction for an
to one of
entire
our
season.
episodes.
Here's our full cast with
Are
Johnny
you
and
saying
a
that we're
full
going to be
cast.
doing this podcast for another 10 years?
I can't make that promise.
How long is this game? You
No, you love it.
guys didn't tell me how long.
Monroe, it's forever.
The rest of your life.
Fine print.
Nico's going to be 30 when we're done.
The fine print.
Read the fine print.
Contract.
Your contract states that when you die, your firstborn child has to take over your role on the podcast. This never
On the podcast.
You better start having kids.
I've already been prepping Rio on how to run sessions, and he's really, really bad at it.
Rio's gonna be fantastic at it. He's gonna be
We'll
fantastic
rise to
at
the
it.
call.
He'll be good at it. Oh, he will. Like Johnny, I've got something that is coming out. The Dune movie's coming out. Now, I've never seen the original movie, but the new one looks interesting, and the cast is phenomenal. And I realized, I was like, how have I never read just one of the cornerstones of sci-fi? So I bought Dune, and I started reading it, and I'm only a couple chapters in, but it's good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's heady. I think it's a little headier than I expected
It's
it to
a
be.
lot,
But
it's like an intense read, in terms of like what you're saying, like headiness. Like
I've been slowly working my way through Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. I'm like, and so I put that aside to read Dune, and that's a very there's a marked difference between the tone of those two books. I was expecting something fun too, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta prepare to read this book. Got it.
yeah, another major cornerstone of sci-fi with a adaptation coming out is Foundation is coming out on Apple TV. I think later this month, and maybe even later this week. There's a TV show. And Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy is.
I read that
incredible.
in college. That was a good read. Well, let's crack open the book on this episode. I got Danny to laugh. I need to do that again. I need to try and do awkward dad joke transitions.
I will laugh every time, Justin.
It's fine. I think I'm hilarious, so I don't really care. I don't really care what the rest of you think.
That's what makes it a dad joke.
That's what makes it a dad joke.
That's quintessential dad joke right there. Well, how about a little summary? Last time, you guys... I've been calling you in my notes the crew, because I need to find some way to, refer to you guys as a collective. But I think you guys should come up with a name for yourselves at some point.
Yeah. When it's time, the name will present itself.
Listen for it. You know what I mean? It will. But don't shy away
the
from
roulettes.
Right, like you've got in both shows it's Team Avatar, which obviously there's
Lame.
no Avatar, so you can't be Team Avatar. But the first Avatar Last Airbender is the gang, which is very funny. But so yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Osa and Friends.
You are the largest character.
The largest.
I was gonna say really because I was thinking Rozak and Friends.
How about just Friends?
No, that's taken.
You're right.
Just Friends.
How about Seinfeld?
No, that's actually it's a really not very well known anime. So we can't do that one either. Yeah, it's taken, unfortunately.
Oh man. Okay, I didn't know about that. Well, all right. Well, listen for it. You'll hear it when it comes up. But you guys were leaving Soboha after escaping an active volcano. And, we didn't set it in a time period, but the last few episodes have happened pretty quickly. So, I imagine the sun is beginning to set and you're like, we got to stop somewhere. We've just had the craziest last couple days. So it is time for us to stop. And you are coming up on the part of the foggy swamp where it gets the densest, and you see a small fishing village just at the edge of the foggy swamp. So you stop to a completely empty town. Everyone isn't there. There's a couple fishermen, but they quickly run away. And as you're trying to figure out what happened, a couple bandits run into town on some Ostrich-Buffalo, and some conversation happens with them, and you are able to convince them to leave, although they say that in 2 days' time they will be back with their leader, Rohu, along with an indeterminate number of additional thugs, bandits, whatever you want to call them. You have a conversation with the mayor of what you find out is Wanya Village. You talk to Mayor Iron, and he kind of pushes you to help protect the town when these guys come back. And so you agree, and you follow him to a place called the Blind Unagi in town. And that's run by a blind restaurant owner, bar manager named Toko. And as you guys are talking with Toko, you partake in his famous blind unagi drink. But Mayor Iron kind of pulls Liko aside and has a conversation with her and says that he knew her parents. And understandably, Liko's a little cautious of that. So they say she asks him to lead him to where he thinks her parents are in the foggy swamp, after you've dealt with Rohu and his bandit gang. And Liko came back and kind of told you guys what happened, and everything kind of resets, and you've got a moment now to collect yourselves and discuss your plan on how you are going to defend Wanya Village. Now, one of the fun things about Powered by the Apocalypse is that it gives a lot more narrative control to the players. So there's a lot of times when you can just set up something and it's up to us to kind of riff off of you and bop and weave with you. So a lot of us are, Monroe is new to tabletop role-playing games, but the rest of us are very new to Powered by the Apocalypse games. We've only been playing for, a couple months now. So we're kind of dipping our feet wet, figuring out how these works. So I have actually created a couple couple moves for us to use in the next couple sessions to help us mechanics-wise figure out how we're going to defend the town. So I'll read them to you guys, and then I'll kind of explain what they are and when they'll come up. So they're going to be in 2 stages. The first one is a move I'm calling Search the Village. So when you search the village, search the town or the village for a defensible position or items, roll plus creativity. And essentially, when you roll, if it's a hit or on a miss, you as the player get to kind of tell me what it is you find. And I'm leaving that completely up to you guys. Maybe it's some nets. Maybe you find a stash of spears that you could teach the villagers to use. Maybe it's a rusted catapult. I don't know. It is up to you guys to tell me what your character finds in the village that they think will be useful in defending. Now, I don't want you to abuse this. I don't want this to be like a Home Alone, 10, 15 different ridiculous traps. I'll leave that up to you guys to once you're like, all right, I think this is good enough. We've got 2 or 3 traps set up. I think that's probably good. So you search the village to help set up the things that you're going to use to protect the village. And then once the Rohu and his gang comes, when they trigger a trap, we're going to use the move called Trigger Defenses. And when your defenses are triggered, roll plus focus. This will represent how well you were able to set up the trap, teach the villagers to spring a trap, whatever it ends up being. It's how well that trap works. We'll roll that when the trap is triggered. So that'll be kind of our almost like a flashback-esque, back in time, this is what you did to set up the trap. How well did it work? So those are that. Any questions about those moves? I'm sure we'll pull them up when you actually need to roll for them. But I'll open it up to you guys. You guys are sitting in the blind Unagi talking with Toko and Iron. It is getting late, but you guys have a moment if you want to talk about some actual strategy and defenses.
So I know we've kind of lightly been discussing defending the town and fighting off these guys, and we could probably do that. But what if they come back when we're gone?
What do you mean, gone where?
When we leave this town. So I feel like our solution needs to have some level of, more permanent solution to this. I'm not exactly sure what that would be, but maybe in setting up traps for these villagers, maybe they come with us and learn how to do it too, so that they can keep doing that. But that kind of more passive approach might just encourage the bandits to move closer. I don't know. Sorry to immediately throw problems on the table.
Jay, always bringing problems to the table.
That's all I got, really.
Maybe we can teach them how to defend. We can't be here forever. We still have our own mission, and at some point they're going to have to step up. I would think.
Yeah.
Maybe we just get rid of Tofu forever.
Where would we put him?
Just seamless understanding.
It means killing him.
Wasn't expecting the end his destiny line from the monk, but yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah, and I'm not a monk. I was just trained by them.
Monk adjacent.
Just throwing that out there. Anyway,
it's a good point.
Solution. It
is. We could set traps for the rest of them, kind of clear them out, and then really put it down on Rohu. Should we build a wooden prison farm?
We could capture Tofu.
Right. Sorry. That's what I was suggesting with the wooden prison, because he's an earthbender, right?
You're right, yeah.
If he was far enough away from any earth, they could hold him indefinitely and then just say, if you guys come and attack our village again, we'll take out Tofu or whatever.
We can send him out on a boat.
I like that. I'm not the boat. I'm talking about Jay.
Yeah, we just ignore Rozik's ideas. That's all we can do.
If we were near water, that might be a good idea.
We are. It's a fishing village.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's put him on a boat.
Nope. They'll just come back. That's
It's not a waterbender. We tie him up, put him on a boat.
It's a river.
It's a river, and there's earth under that water. It's not.
Yeah, that might work on the ocean.
Ren looks to
but we
Iron
aren't-
and just asks, "Are there any warriors in the village?"
I mean, I told you guys there's no one. There's a bunch of families and kids and I don't know, a few old people, but I mean, if your only plan is to just teach these people how to fight, we're going to be wiped off the map. And
Hey, we have other plans. There are other ones in the works.
What if we don't teach the people how to fight? What if we do the fighting because we know how, and we just make sure that this gang doesn't know who they're fighting? Maybe if we're all dressed the same and we use enough misdirection, they'll think, I don't know who I'm dealing with. And then they never know if it's safe to come back.
I like that. That's good. It should be a part of the
Ren
plan.
is just like furrowing
sure.
his brow and it's just like, can we also throw fishing nets on them? That's all I care about.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can do that, Ren. It's probably a good,
Ren looks
good way to get rid of
Iron
the group.
and old people throw fishing nets on them.
I mean, have you ever seen an old person throw a fishing net?
They fish.
Yeah.
So you have to throw the net.
It's a fishing village. Right?
Someone has to throw a net around here.
I'm sorry. Do your grandparents just work until they die? Do your parents and grandchildren not take care of?
Ren looks
I didn't meet my
super
grandparents,
awkward
I
because
don't-
that is
never knew my
exactly what
grandparents.
happened.
Neither did I. Now you just opened up an old wound.
Are there people in the village who can just sew a ton of outfits that all match, that all look exactly the same?
Really, really
I
fast.
think we just need to look like a villager. I don't know if we need like the exact same
Just
outfit.
the same, Osa.
No, we all have to match. Otherwise, they'll know the difference.
But if we're dressed like villagers, we're just going to look like locals and they won't know.
No, if we all wear one outfit in the same hat,
Everyone is in a single, like the exact same, like we're all sharing a single large outfit.
no, that's stupid.
Okay, because I was thinking that was kind of stupid.
Yeah, that is stupid. You're right.
A little scary.
What I want is for everyone to wear identical outfits so that we can have people pop up here and then they disappear and they pop up over there and the gang doesn't know, are those the same people that I just fought? Are they different people? And what's going on? Where's this all coming from? Who's attacking me now? And then when we leave the village, they don't know who we were because they don't know who anybody was.
You know,
That's not bad.
the large monks.
That isn't bad.
He's got a point. I heard of a village a couple miles away. They called themselves the Son Amigos, and they did something similar to that. I think.
That does not sound right, but I guess. Anyways, what if we, I mean, we have a couple of Fire Nation outfits, but that's only enough for us.
Oh,
Well, I think if we
Well, see, I don't firebend, but I can make it look like I firebend.
that's,
And I could probably make it look like other people are firebending.
that's another strategy. We can try to convince them that the Fire Nation has occupied this village, and that might scare them away.
Rosic, that was a great idea.
Yeah, I think the boat was a better idea, but you know,
No, that was way better. That was
is
definitely...
this is like third from the top and like my greatest ideas. I'm not telling you guys the rest of them. You don't deserve them.
I think we're better off, but thanks. Anyways,
I wanna hear this. What are the other?
No, don't do it.
Number two.
that's third. What
Number
are
two,
one and
bucket
two?
of slippery eels. Number four, pinchy prawns. You're a fishing village, right? You have access to those.
You gotta get a lot better at ranking your ideas, man.
okay, we're going to move on with the idea of tricking them into thinking the Fire Nation has come, because then they're just going to off.
Jay, wow.
Yeah.
But
Salty language aside,
Yeah,
It is a good
He's
idea.
raised by criminals.
fair.
Maybe we can't train them to fight like really effectively, but would you be able to? No, never mind. You earthbend your blasting jelly, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, I could set up like some little like packages and pouches that all they would have to do is like light them, and then they could, fake firebend basically.
Young lady, we haven't heard from you. What do you think?
I'm with Osa. I like that idea. I just don't know how we're going to be able to get the same outfit for every single person. Or do we have to have it for everyone, or just a suit? Do we just get like maybe 20 people with the same outfit and just spread them around?
Well, I think maybe this idea works if we combine, right? We get a small number of convincing Fire Nation uniforms made. We give to villagers. We use the uniforms that we have. And then when we leave, it can still look like the Fire Nation is here. If Iron designates a few villagers to do patrols dressed as the Fire Nation.
Okay. What happens if they find out it's not the Fire Nation?
Then they destroy the village.
I think we should make a plan B. What do you guys think about the boat idea?
The boat idea is not on the table, but we'll keep
Slippery
it.
eels.
We'll keep it under the table just as an option. All right.
All right.
Under the table.
The next idea would be to capture
Tofu,
Ramune, or whatever his name is.
Rohu,
Yeah, close enough.
Rohu.
Capture him, lock him up in like a wood cell, and then
Maybe that should be number one.
What if we figure out who his lieutenant is and capture him before the gang comes, and we make a deal with him that if he helps us get rid of Rohu, we'll make him the leader of the gang on the condition that he leaves this village
I
alone.
think there's a lot of variables in that plan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables in all of these
Is
plans.
it lieutenant or lieutenant?
Depends on if you're British.
What's British?
What is that?
What nation do they belong from?
They're like the Fire Nation.
You're basically the Fire Nation.
Wow. Wow.
Those days.
It is 100%.
We need a plan. I like Lico's idea.
I feel like that making the whole Fire Nation uniform idea plan B would be harder to pull off. Well, I guess we could just have all the villagers in Fire Nation garb hide and wait to see if we end up capturing Tofu, Rohu.
But if we capture him and then prevent other people from saving him with Osa's idea, then at least it's a more long-term solution as opposed to what happens if this doesn't work.
The only question I have is, what do we do with him after we capture him? Where does it go from there? Is he just a captive forever?
Yes, it's
That
not our problem.
that seems inhumane, but
But he's alive.
Iron, what would you
Until-
do if we gave him to you?
Well, I don't know. Probably slap him with a fish a couple times.
Good. Good.
Oh, gosh.
Kind of
And then?
deserves that. No, I joke. I jest, obviously. We don't have like a jail here, but I suppose we could try and set up some sort of holding cell for a powerful earthbender.
Do you have a room on the second floor of this inn?
Well, Toka, do we? Yeah. We could also, we could check out the basement as well.
Yeah, the basement will be in ground, though, right? It'll be just surrounded by earth.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so probably the second floor. Because then he's just by wood and...
Yeah. Well,
wood doesn't block earth bending.
Well, you can't bend it.
yeah,
And
but
if he... Don't, well,
I mean,
But he could bend rock.
yeah.
if he's really good, I couldn't do something like that.
They keep saying how powerful he
Well-
is. I think the only thing that could stop him from bending is
They're a
metal.
bunch of non-benders. I mean, of course he's powerful to them.
What we
Hey.
could do,
Sorry, no offense, Ben. No offense.
what we could do is tie him up and gag him and bring him with.
You just want to steal a man?
We can drop him off at a more capable city. No offense, Iron.
No, none taken.
We could offer a parlay over tea, but put some sort of a extra kick in his tea so that he
Like one of those pinchy prawns.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like something that's just gonna knock him out for a while.
Where are we going to put him once he wakes up?
Maybe we put enough that he doesn't.
Osa.
Inconceivable.
Osa, you're starting to scare me. The past 10 minutes have just been a tad overwhelming.
Ren is quietly.
I kind of like where he's going, honestly.
I've got 2 ideas. It's the outfits or end his destiny permanently.
I like your input. I really like it. What?
Loving the energy.
I'm with the monk. I've asked you to help, and honestly, he's been harassing our people for so long that I don't care what you do with him.
All right. So, in the interest of the non-Destiny enders in our group, we could just capture him and take him somewhere far away. Turn him over to authorities wherever we land. Could also just drop him in the desert, see what happens. It's not too far away.
We could. What if we captured him, left him alive, and me and Iron go somewhere without the rest of you to have a conversation?
Yes, a conversation.
Was Osa raised by the godfather of airbenders?
I like how the character who was raised by the godfather of firebenders is like, I don't know.
You come to me. My daughter's airbending.
In spite of my outfit, guys, I haven't seen the inside of an air temple in like 5 years. I'm not a monk. I'm just a guy who can move air.
Are those clothes 5 years old?
That's not important right now. How often am I supposed to buy new clothes? They still function. Anyway.
All right, well, let's do a vote. Who here wants to take him with us?
Ren raises his hand.
Rozek raises his hand.
Jay does not raise his hand.
Osa crosses his arms.
Okay. How many of you want to do Osa's idea with the costumes?
And I think more importantly, the ending of Destiny is what Osa wants to do.
Well, no, I think that's the next question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ren.
No. If you commit to the costumes, you're committing to murder. Yep.
Ren says, as a backup, if we can't capture Rohu within a day, we have 2 days till they come.
I think the costume idea will give us an opening to either capture or otherwise.
Or learn something about them.
I don't think there's time for the costume idea if we don't.
I'm not sewing. Make
that
the people
plan
in
A.
the village do it.
Ren.
Well, that's still part of the idea.
Is
But
that wrong?
anyway, continue, Liko, please.
The third option is who wants to do Rozek's boat idea.
That was not going to be on the table.
Toko
Raises his hand so high.
Equality.
So high
everyone
above his
matters.
head.
Don't let him believe that.
Rozek's face lights up.
I like that idea.
Thank you, sir.
Crickets.
All right, well, I'm for taking him with us. And that means that
I think there's an idea you didn't put up for a vote.
Yeah. How
I'm
about
against. Okay, all right. Yeah, you're right. How many of you want to just end him?
I airbend and try and use like a directed gust to force Ren and Shay's hands up with mine.
No, Jay raises his hand.
Ren just hits Osa with a fan.
So both of his hands just fly.
Well, how are you guys going to do it?
I mean, we capture him, and then we just don't take him with us, you know?
But
We don't need to talk about all the details.
We could just let Iron deal with him.
I'm just saying.
You had this
if you
idea
well-placed rocks
that you wanted to.
and the combination of, Rozek's idea without the boat.
You just want to drown him?
one method. I'm just saying, there's
Could
options.
also just let
Yeah, you know, Dad used to take people he didn't like out back, and then they just never see him again. It's not any different.
Oh my god, Chase, stop.
I'm sure he just
sorry.
put them in firebending military school.
You take any non-airbender high enough, there's no way they're walking away.
Well, we need to come up with something.
So Rozak is face palming.
I know I've asked a lot of you.
Well, unless we know what we're gonna do to end him, I don't see how that's a fair thing to choose.
Well, I mean,
We all
there's
agree of how we're gonna do it.
a lot of options. We just fight him until he can't fight anymore, right? Or we could just knock him out and then take him somewhere and finish him
And
off.
we're not gonna get tired also or get hurt.
No, I mean,
Or
it's
what
not
about
gonna
the
be
people
easy.
around us?
Yeah, there's a good point. There's a lot of dudes to fight along the way.
What were you gonna say, Mr. Iron?
I know that I've asked a lot of you kids. So if you need to just sit there and fight him and leave him to me, I think that would work as well too. If you were to just put him in my possession, I could deal with him.
Do you feel safe enough to deal with him?
No, but I've caused this town enough pain with my cowardice that it's time I do something about it.
Che looks real like squints at him. Like,
I think I know exactly what Shay is thinking.
okay, I'm actually back on the let's take him somewhere else train.
I do think that honestly would be the safest and most morally sound option.
We could always take him and end him someplace else, guys.
Dear God.
There's no reason why we all can't win here.
I'm glad it's still on the table. But let's take a step back from whether or not this guy's story ends in another couple of days, and focus on the fact that he is also surrounded by potentially a couple dozen, foot soldiers of varying strength levels.
We're kind of talking about it like we'll be able to capture or wipe out his destiny like easily. There's going to be a fight, and
That's what I'm saying.
it's going to be a hard fight.
Well, I could. We need to get him out in the open somehow. I can use Rue and intercept him while the rest of you fight off everybody else. But he has to be out in the open. He can't be hiding someplace. That's the only way that's going to work.
Well, we're definitely going to need to thin out because as much as I believe in all of our abilities, I don't know if we can take 20 guys. I don't know if we can do that. Might be a little bit of a push.
Ren turns to Iron. Do you know a place like that, like wide open space?
I mean, it's about a day's ride from here. There's some flats 30-40 minutes away from here. You could try and catch him there.
How do we lead him there, though? That's
We can
difficult.
set up a fake meeting. Maybe.
They're coming here to flex muscles, man. I don't think we're gonna send them
We
anywhere
could
else.
take the entire village there.
I think if we take the entire village somewhere, we'll just come back to their homes.
Oh,
burned
true.
out.
Well, smashed. Earthbenders like to smash things.
She's like, okay. Anyways, so
Maybe the
I think what I was getting at is we should probably be setting up like traps to like get out some of the peons, some of the pawns, and maybe get them out of the way so we don't have to fight quite so many dudes at once.
So many.
I think Rue could maneuver probably in the town square, and so. Oh, sorry. What?
Yeah. No, keep going.
No, I was just saying. So if we could get him in a small group there, then you could just take him with Rue, and we could clean up the rest of the dudes, run him out of the town while you're just flying around with him, and he can't do anything because he can't earthbend up there. And then, yeah.
Side note, Justin, does Rue have any abilities?
Well, I think in the prologue we established he's got some sort of like ice breath.
Okay, so we can use Rue to help thin out people, right? Because she's big.
That is true. Yeah, you could do like flyovers.
Awesome.
That is a plan.
Yeah. Could do that.
I will. Iron goes, well, it's getting a little late. We've got all tomorrow to walk around Wanya and set up traps and discuss where we will attack. But for now, it's sort of a tradition. Even in these hard times, our village has a little get together every evening, just to meet one another. Be honored if you would be my guests tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.
But it's just right outside. If you'd like to, everyone should already be there, and they'll have some fried fish and other snacks and goodies there. You can meet other people.
Real food.
Osa's already walking out the front door.
We're apparently definitely going. Thank you.
Perhaps we can continue this conversation tomorrow then.
Yes, well,
Yes.
it sounds good. Jay's just gonna whisper to everybody like, we're screwed. This is not looking great.
Let's just eat and sleep on it.
Okay.
You walk outside of the Blind Unagi, and there's about 120 or so people gathered around a few fires, and they're laughing despite the hardships and talking with one another.
Impending doom.
And yeah, their impending doom. From what you can tell, like, they're scared, but this is kind of par for course. So they try to squeeze the most out of life whenever they have the ability to. And when you're walking up to one of the groups of people, you see that redheaded girl that kicked over the bucket of fish with her foot. And she comes up to the five of you and says, "Oh, are you guys the people that are going to help defeat Rohu?"
We're going to try our best.
Yeah.
That is awesome. My name is Casa, and tomorrow, come find me, because I've got a little stand. I'm sure there's got to be something there that you could use to help you defeat Rohu.
Thanks, Casa.
That is very helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you,
absolutely. It is. You guys are just, you're amazing. You know that? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, you big guy.
I'm going to lean over to Ren and be like, I don't think she's heard any of Rosa's ideas.
Hey, Casa. Rose steps up to the front of the group.
Oh God.
You want me to?
Nico rolls
If you
her
want, I
eyes.
can train you to be an excellent battle strategist.
Oh my god, that would be absolutely amazing.
What you have to do is you got to make 10 plans, and you call that your top 10 list of plans because it makes it seem like you have even more plans, but you really only have 10.
Okay, Rosic, we're gonna move.
Rosic-
Let's go have some food.
No, Rosic, before you push him away, Rosic leans into him and he says, "But my secret is I only have 4."
Okay, you keep that one to yourself, bud. And I just take him to the food table.
She puts her hand on your shoulder and is just like, mind blown. That's amazing. And she's
God,
like,
maybe I shouldn't take him away.
Think about what plans you come up with tomorrow and let me know.
oh my gosh,
then-
I will have so many plans. Come find me,
All right.
and
Turns
I'll
out Casa
get you
has
something
only
nice.
the best plans.
She has like excellent plans and we're like, whoa.
Just like off the top of my head, snappy snakes.
What does that
I
even
like
mean?
you
I was just
already.
like so confused at how this is already so close to pinchy prawns.
Another thing you need to know about plans is you come up with the names
I just
first.
start dragging Rozek away.
And Rozak is just like waving his finger, still talking to Casa as his voice fades into this.
Thank you, Casa. We're all very hungry.
Yeah, Osa's going to go to wherever it looks like they've got the fish and get a plate or
Is it
whatever
like
they
family
use
style?
to hold their
You
fish.
just like shove your hand into the boiling pot of no.
Yeah, Jay's just like standing in the middle of where they were talking and just is like staring off a little bit, takes a point of fatigue, and then goes grabs food.
Takes a point of fatigue.
No, at this point, you guys have talked to Casa for a little bit, so Toko is one of the people that's serving fish, and he sort of hands you a plate, Osa, and goes, young man, I was kind of concerned by some of your thoughts in that meeting. Didn't expect to hear an air nomad like yourself suggesting something as dark as that. That was a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are dark times, and I've learned recently that no one lives forever. We're all gonna go sometime, so it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm just gonna turn and go and like go to the side of the river, eat, not wait for his response. And go try and sit alone like on a dock.
While you guys is anyone else doing anything?
Oh, I think Liko's going to try to get something to eat.
Okay. You also walk up to Toka, and he hands you a plate with some fish on it, and he says, "Well, it seems you're quite the leader of this group. How long have the five of you been together?"
A few days. Right, guys? I think.
Solid.
Yeah, I think like a work week, right?
We haven't actually slept yet since we met each other.
Yeah, we should be losing our minds then if we haven't slept yet.
You're either my 4 favorite people or I hate you more than anything. I can't really tell.
As soon as Shay says that, Rosa comes up behind him and puts his arm around him like an older brother. And he goes, we've only known each other for a short time, but I already feel like I've known these folks my entire life.
Well, Liko, you're doing a good job. Don't let them give you too much guff.
Liko looks at the rest of the guys in confusion, and she goes, "Sure."
Well, here you go.
Che also returns a look of confusion.
Like, I didn't realize I was the leader, but okay.
I'm down for it.
I thought Che was.
Che's just the loudest.
I'm just the ideas guy. I'm not in charge of anything.
I thought Osa was, because whenever he sees food, he goes to it and we just follow him.
One way to lead.
That's kind of how it's been going.
A primarily food-led group. Ren, as the night passes too, you're having more conversations with people, and at some point this like large awkward boy kind of like shuffles up next to you. He's like, hey there. I saw you guys were helping to defend the village, and I just wanted to thank you, and I wanted to ask you, miss, if you wanted to dance with me.
Ren looks down at his garb, which as a Kyoshi warrior is definitely more feminine than probably what this kid typically sees, and just says, I don't feel like dancing.
Yeah, go, Ren.
But thank you.
Oh my, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, miss, ma'am. Oh my god. And he's kind of like
Che jumps in between them and is like, before he like right once he starts to stutter, Che jumps in between them and is like, I'll dance with you.
Oh, wow, I'm really flattered, but I kind of just wanted to dance with her.
I guess I'm your only option.
Ren leans in to the kid, puts a attempt at a comforting hand on his shoulder, and just says, "The best way you can thank us is by pretending to be that guy if the bad guys come to town." And I point to Osa.
He's just like sitting by himself on the river,
Eating.
You think you could rock an outfit and look like a Fire Nation guy, but about roughly that size?
and this boy kind of blushes, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I could do it. Yeah."
I make direct eye contact and say, "Good, because we're counting on you." What was your name?
My name? Oh my gosh, I'm Mei Fohao.
We're counting on you, Mei Fohao.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to talk to you, and if you ever wanted to dance with me, I'd love to dance with you.
Ren quickly steps away from both this kid and Shay to avoid any possible follow-up conversations about the mishap, and tries to persuade villagers that they are courageous and that they can help us if it comes to it.
As soon as Ren steps away, Rose like walks up to him and goes, "Ren, it's funny because he thought you were a girl because you've been wearing a skirt this entire time." And he walks away and grabs food.
Shay had like doubled over.
Whether Rosa can hear this or not, Ren would respond, just kind of like, it's a Kyoshi warrior outfit.
What's wrong with being a girl?
I know, right?
Shay will put his hand on Ren's shoulder. And be
As
like,
Ren's walking away.
yeah, no, he'll like walk up to him and catch up to him and be like, "Hey, you handled that pretty well." Like chase after him.
Appreciate it.
You handled that well.
Just a kid,
not
you
know
know.
what else to say. Yeah, no, I mean, it's no water off your back.
Ren,
Just like a turtle duck.
Ren, what sort of things do you say to the villagers as you're trying to like persuade them to be courageous? And why don't you play that out?
Yeah, I'll walk up to somebody. What do they look like?
There's like a group of people. There's like a family. There's like a middle-aged dad, and his wife, and a couple kids, and it looks like maybe like grandparents or like family friends or something, and they're just sort of chatting and laughing and eating fish, and they see you come up, and like the dad steps up and he's like, thank you so much for standing with us.
I'm going to work that same line. The best way you can thank us is by standing with us and protecting your family when the time comes. You think you can do that?
What do you need us to do?
Well, it might just be pretending to fight while wearing a Fire Nation outfit, but it might be something else. We'll let you know. But we need as many people as we can to muster their courage. Think of your family. Will you fight for them?
Not if it means my life, but
That's honest.
if it,
Glad that's established.
we're fishermen.
Not if it means my life.
We're fishermen. But if it means protecting them, and yes, I will.
Can you throw a net or light something on fire if we give you the tools?
I could throw a net. Yes, I've been throwing a net since I was a boy.
Then you're more equipped than you know. What was your name?
That's a great question.
For the GM. What is my name?
What is my name?
He's had a little too much cactus juice.
Yes.
Oh, let me
What
get
is
some of that.
anyone's name, really? No. My name is Shahi.
Thank you, Shahi.
While you're...
Can
what's Liko want to do?
Can we get like a little group meeting with just the guys here?
Oh, I get interrupted
No
and
one-
dragged into a meeting. Cool.
No locals.
Oh, sorry guys.
no
I was
locals.
getting into it.
As yes, eventually there's as Osa's though sitting by the river, you're just eating and you hear the stream trickling by. You know, maybe some ladybug crickets chirping in the background, and then you hear footsteps pad up and a cane hitting the ground as it's walking up. And so, who'd you lose? Toka sits down beside you.
The Fire Nation, they killed everyone. The entire Southern Air Temple.
Well, for what it's worth, kid, I'm sorry. No one should have to go through something like that. That's too much. That's too much for you to handle. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just feel like I should have been there. I should have been with them. I know I couldn't have done anything, but if I'd never left, maybe I could have helped somehow.
Hey, that sort of talk right there, Stow it. That's not going to help anyone. Remember what the monks taught you. You, young airbender, are destined for great things. You've learned how to take care of people, to bridge the gaps where people are fighting, to stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves. Just look around you. We would be defenseless without you and your friends. But don't ever think that you need to resort to permanent violence as a means to solutions. That is not what you learned.
You're right. But I don't know what to do with all this anger I feel. The monks didn't teach me how to deal with all this.
You know, I told you guys that I've been blind since birth.
Yeah.
Well, as you can imagine, it wasn't exactly the easiest upbringing. Kids picked on me. Can't tell you how many times I got pushed into the river. But you know what my dad always said to me? He said, if you ignore that, you're going to end up going to places you don't want to be. Also, part of the journey is learning to live with the pain. It makes you stronger.
Yeah. I think you might be right, but I don't know.
At this point, Ren starts waving over to Osa to join the group.
Thanks for talking to me.
Always, son. Come find me if you ever need to talk. And also mechanically too, he's trying to shift your principles. He's trying to shift you away from force and towards care. So it is up to you if you want to accept that shift. You can also try and resist that as well. Okay.
No, I'll accept it.
So then you move your force down and your care up.
Done.
You walk over to the rest of the group that has gathered now.
Cool. I go over.
What was Toko talking to you about?
I'll tell you about it another time. What do you guys want to meet about?
There you go.
Okay, well, it seems like nobody here is actually prepared to fight.
You're not wrong.
So if whatever plan we do come up with, I don't think it's good to get them involved.
I mean, I was thinking we can also maybe set up some walls and some alleyways and they can throw things from behind those walls or fences or whatever.
Like the roofs and stuff?
Yeah, or the roofs too. Then it would look like Fire Nation fireballs.
Yeah. There's probably plenty of rocks in the river that we could use too.
How much blasting jelly do you have, Jay?
I grabbed quite a bit from the stores at the mountain.
For whatever it's worth, I don't think my idea about ending Rohu was really the best one. So
Yeah.
I'm
Rosic
changing
lets
my
out a sigh of
vote to-
relief. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm changing my vote to capture him and take him somewhere else.
Well, it's going to be annoying, but yeah, it's probably for the best.
Okay.
Well,
I'll do whatever you think is best.
if we what if we do try to at least lightly fortify most of the village and set the villagers up with, Jake can set them up with blasting jelly and stones, and we get them behind fortifications, and we focus on the five of us and Rue being the only ones really doing any fighting.
That's what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Do we want to stand by the idea of trying to convince them that we're Fire Nation soldiers and we've occupied the village?
If all of us greet them in our garb, Fire Nation garb, we might be able to pull it off and just declare that it's ours.
That's fair, yeah.
Ahead of the
If we
village,
could-
we could meet them
That's
and
a
cut
good
them
idea.
off.
Yeah, and it's not so much that the rest of the village needs to look like they are now like Fire Nation soldiers, but if they're out of sight and they're attacking with fire and we're in full Fire Nation garb, Like that should be pretty clear at that point. That
Well, I mean, you're from the Fire Nation, and we all saw what happened at the Air Temple. Do we really think it's believable that they would only send 5 soldiers to take a town?
We're only 5 of the soldiers.
If we fence up the town and make the actual, like, I guess you could say interior of the town not visible to them from where they are, then we could convince them that it's fully occupied, theoretically.
I just feel like my next job is going to be raising walls around this entire village.
That's
You are the only earthbender.
Alright.
Sorry, bro. I just have fans.
but Rude has ice breath. Is she able to kind of help with that, with creating? Well, that would be ice, so it's not the same thing as fire. so-
Maybe.
Well, if I've seen airbenders, airbenders also, that's part of my suggestion, but I've seen waterbenders who can slice through things with water. And I know how to use air in a similar way. Maybe we can down some trees and use trees so Che's not surrounding the entire town just with earth. We can try and make wooden fortifications as well, or bamboo.
Yeah, that might even work better because it'll be less bendable to any earthbenders that are in their party.
Ren cautiously eyes Liko, waiting for like an objection because this is about like messing with nature. But it's like bamboo goes back within a few months.
Yeah,
I mean,
as long as it's bamboo.
Well, we can keep it to bamboo.
Yeah.
Rosic, were you saying something?
huh?
Rosic, were you saying something?
Oh, sorry. Frozak has a notepad open, and
Oh,
Shay now is sitting next to it. We can see he's crudely writing his 5th plan. Oh, and he closes it. And he goes,
He was writing it with a crayon.
yeah, I was going to mention too, like, the gang might be confused when they see that somehow the Fire Nation managed to summon stone walls around this village, being, Fire Nation. And I think Iron's established that there's not really any firebenders here, or earthbenders rather. Sorry. And so that might, confuse the gang about like, is the Fire Nation hiring earthbenders now? I don't know.
What?
Oh, true. Oh, right.
Well, what if we get the able-bodied villagers to help us cut down bamboo, and we do what we can? We make as many bamboo walls as we can, fortify the town, which then is believable because the Fire Nation would want to do that, right? And then we kind of go with the Fire Nation plan. We keep the villagers out of sight. And I wonder, and this might be a long shot, but we should ask Iron if there's a building that we can burn down. Just so that when they come, there's the smoldering remains, and it looks like there was at least some sort of a occupying scuffle.
Yeah, if we can cut off all of the other entrances with these walls, then they will have to go to a gate that we build, and a building next to the gate could just be burned down. We could set fires not to the buildings, but to just like bonfires around the village, and it could look all smoky and stuff. But they don't need to see the rest of the village if we keep them outside the wall.
Yeah, if it's outside the wall and we make sure that they can't see in, and we light a fire so it looks like a building that they would be familiar with, burned down based on the smoke, but they can't see past the wall. That could work.
Ren adds,
Okay.
if the villagers don't object, we could find the remains of somebody who has passed and scorch them and put them outside of the gate as a warning.
Ren.
Oh,
I think that if Master Toku was here, he'd be very concerned about you.
Also,
It's Toko.
that would be up to Rosic to do, and I don't think
you're
he's
right,
down
you're right.
for that. As I look at my brother, and he looks like he just threw up in his mouth.
yeah. Rozak's face is green, and he's just nodding his head,
Shaking?
shaking.
Nodding or shaking?
He's sorry. He's turning his head in circles.
How much he agrees.
He's
with
turning his head in circles and foaming at the mouth.
Okay, so that solves.
Ren looks nervous and
how
is
we're
like,
going-
too far. Okay.
All right, so what is your plan? As I understand it, you're going to wall up Wanya Village, light some bonfires inside so it looks like the Fire Nation is occupying that, pretend to be Fire Nation soldiers, and convince them to leave Wanya Village alone.
But what about what's his name?
Rohu?
I almost called him Roku.
Rohu?
Rohu.
Oh, is this Rohu? Oh.
It's the Avatar.
It's the Avatar.
There he is.
We were wondering where you've been, Avatar Roku.
He's been bullying this village for some reason.
The last 13 years.
So that's why they never found an airbender avatar, because you were still alive.
He might try to challenge us, which would be ideal. If he was like, well, I don't care about the Fire Nation, we'll be like, oh yeah, then we'll challenge him to a one-on-one or something. Well, Rosic will have to do it because he's the only firebender. And then Rosic could fight him, beat him, hopefully. And then we'll just like take him and be like, well, this guy's a prisoner of the Fire Nation now. Do you guys want to end up like him? And then hopefully they just run away.
Did we get 5?
We can.
Did we find?
Well, maybe we don't need to have anyone duel. Maybe when they come, we ask who their leader is, and we say this place has been claimed by the Fire Nation, and then we point to Rohu and we say, our commander will speak with you if you're interested in furthering the aims of the Fire Nation. And then he comes in, we capture him. Nobody has to fight anybody.
My concern is that we may not have to capture him at all if they think they're dealing with the Fire Nation.
Yeah, but also, another worry.
I think.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Rosa.
I feel like this was not worth it.
I know I've brought up the idea of convincing them we're Fire Nation, but another worry I have is just picture this, 2 of those gang members just strolling down, just by the river, skipping rocks. And then they glance over at the village and they're like, oh, there's no Fire Nation soldiers there. What happened?
We could leave the outfits here.
We could, yeah. Just have them get used to dressing. Oh, that's a great idea, Che.
Yeah. Maybe have them knit like a Fire Nation flag and hang it over the town hall. It'll also make it easier when...
It's almost like it's an idea I suggested when we were still in the tea house, but...
I guess we could capture him either way, since that's something the Fire Nation would do. So yeah. I scrap my objection.
Also, either way, the Fire Nation's going to come to this village probably pretty soon. So
think about that.
If they already have a flag up, it's probably going to work out for them. They can just say, like, we're ready for you.
They've been here for years now.
Not like they could just roll out the welcoming carpet,
Well, we can give Iron some sort of a script to follow when the Fire Nation does come, and when they come, then they're here in earnest, and the gang definitely.
You know Fire Nation lingo, right? Like Flameo, Hotman.
Yeah, I mean,
don't ask me. I barely know anything about Fire Nation culture.
Sounds like you guys have a pretty decent plan, and at this point,
we do.
Iron comes up and he says, if you want, the village would hear from you.
All right, Ren, you're up.
Flameo
Hotman.
We'll save that speech for the the written script for the Fire Nation. But yeah, Ren is like kind of caught off guard because like until this moment he didn't realize that the plan was still to give a public speech, but then like quickly heads over and like dusts off. Is there like a box that I can stand on?
No, not really. It's just like a town square. So like everyone.
As you look around,
you could stand on my shoulders.
as you look around for a second for like something to stand on, and you say that, Che just like slams his foot on the ground, and you just shoot up like 6 feet into the air.
Yes. I fall backwards and hurt my butt. No, just kidding. So I'm on like a pedestal now. Thank you.
Yes, a literal pedestal.
Ren immediately realizes that he doesn't know how to begin speeches. So there's a bit of silence. I'm like, no, not hear ye. 80. No.
Can I I want to take a page out of Che's playbook and gently bend the air from Ren towards the back of the crowd to make sure his voice carries to the.
We got acoustics. We got a stage. Stage is set, literally. You're good to go.
Awesome. All right. Ren clears his throat.
Rozak, don't forget the pyrotechnics at the end.
Oh, as soon as he says that, Rozak stands behind him and does 2 flamethrowers going out upwards diagonally on either side of him. And I'm guessing that gets the rest of the town's attention.
Yes. I clear my throat.
I think they were all
And gently nod to Rozak as a kind of polite thanks to hopefully disarm further pyrotechnics.
But he stops it. And he winks at Ren and gives him a thumbs up.
People of Wanya, we have a plan. Merely one day ago, we were strangers to each other. And yet here we are, mere children, putting our lives on the line for your village. Why? Because you are worth it. Look at each other. Look at your children. Look at your family and friends. You are all worth it. And so you must all fight and find your own way of protecting yourselves. Ren has a pause because Ren didn't think he would get this far.
You're doing great.
Oh, thanks. You do not have to fight literally. We hope it doesn't come to that. But you must help us build fortifications and make it look like the Fire Nation has taken over this town. Wanya will be safe for now. We can't promise its safety forever. But if we all cooperate, we could well be fishing next week.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have you. So, one of the things that Ren gets to do is he gets to have allies. And I should have had you mark down the town, the village of Wanya, as an ally. Which you can do that now if you'd like.
Yes.
And you can... That comes with a few things. You can always plead with allies. They always care what you think, and they always open up to you if you comfort or support them. You can call on them to live up to their principles. With this, though, it's a town, so they don't have a principle themselves. But you can definitely
town.
plead with them.
Plead it is.
And if you want to cross off them from your allies, you can just have that be a 10 plus, or you can, I think you can choose to do that after, so you can roll and see what it is. And
I see that's like cashing in my allyship
exactly, yep,
to make it a better roll. Okay.
Yep.
All right, here's the roll. Solid 12. What do I add to it?
Harmony. You don't need to add anything. It's a 10 plus.
14.
All right. On a 10 plus, they act now and do their best until the situation changes.
Awesome.
So
I slowly nod to Che to try to lower my pedestal because I don't want to jump off of it.
Tay will gracefully bring it down.
And at this point, the town of Wanya is just clapping for you and cheering. And this goes on for a little bit, and eventually it quiets down. And Iron sort of says, all right, everyone quiet down. We're very thankful for these people who have generously offered to protect us. We have a long day ahead of us, so please get a good night's sleep, and we'll see you all in the morning. And everyone sort of goes off to their beds for the night. And you can rest at Toko's Inn, the Blind Unagi, and tomorrow, the next day, you can start defending the town of Wanya Village, but that will have to wait till next episode. We are going to find out how successful this plan is. Thanks for listening.
I only have hope for us.
I only have hope for you too. It will fail, but I'm looking forward to it. We are the Flying Bison Podcast. We'll see you next week. If you follow us, please follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on social media at Flying Bison Podcast. And please give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts, or tell your friends about it. I know you've got friends, so tell them about it. But that's the best way for us to get out there and to have other people listen to this. We hope you're enjoying this. I did hear too that if you give us a 5-star review, you know that like icky soup skin on soup, right? You know, if you give us a 5-star review, I think Steve said he would slurp up all of that soup skin, so you can just have nice fresh soup all the time. He'll just kind of hover around, slurp up that soup skin.
Whenever you happen to be eating soup, he'll just slurp it.
He'll just be there.
Yeah, Steve loves
favorite.
soup skin.
I'm learning so much about myself.
Well, we will see you next week. Everybody say bye.
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 Avatar Legends was developed and produced by Magpie Games. The worlds of Avatar The Last Airbender and Avatar The Legend of Korra are property of Viacom CBS. Intro music is Dizu by Sendai. Outro music is Tokyo Funk by LATG Music. Logo and art by Cate and Matthew Mahnke. You can find more of their work at pomakin.com. Link in the show notes.